Your reverse bucket list. What is it? Why is it important for reinventing and rebooting your life? How's it going, Reinventers? I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired. I want you to become a reinventor. That is, a person who is starting over in life, making major changes so that they can live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. And I do this by inspiring you with my videos so that you will either begin or continue to reinvent yourself. I am so glad that you are here. If you are new to this channel, I invite you to subscribe. If you have been here for a while, you know that I have been asking folks about what they're most proud of or their accomplishments in life. Did not hear a whole lot from you guys. So I decided to go ahead and do this video anyway. So I'm going to be asking you what you've accomplished in your reverse bucket list as we go. So please take time during this video to go down below in the comments and leave your list or one or two things that you have accomplished in your life. I want to talk about a reverse bucket list and why that's important for reinventing yourself. I think that I saw somebody recently who said we're sort of in the kind of the 6-month plus period of the pandemic, and a lot of things are kind of, the momentum we had at first is just really petered out, and we're all really tired. And how do we continue to go on even in this period of time? And I think that's really important when we are talking about reinventing ourselves, because I think you do get to a certain point in reinventing that you lose momentum, that you lose your kind of energy or the joy that you had at first, and you really struggle to keep going and to continue. So having a reverse bucket list really is going to help you out. So a bucket list is something that was coined to refer to the things that you want to accomplish before you die, that is, kick the bucket. I know there was a movie about it. I don't know if that's where it came from. I meant to look that part up, but I didn't. However, it is a real thing. I mean, people really do sit down and figure out what their bucket list is. But when I say reverse bucket list, what I'm talking about is the things you've already done, you've already accomplished, and maybe you didn't have an actual list of things that you wanted to do, but you were able to do these things anyway. And you really do need to take some time. I think we all need to do it and look back and see what are those things that we have accomplished in our lifetime are proud of, maybe dreams we had as children or goals we had as children that we have done. How have we done them? How do we feel? And kind of move forward from that. Once you look back and see what you've done, it really is helpful. It's like in terms of my own spiritual life. I went on a retreat, gosh, it's been 20 years now, called an Emmaus walk. And in that retreat, it's a 3-day Christian experience. And at the end of the walk, you receive letters from friends and family and spiritual leaders that tell you, kind of lift you up, tell you you're a special person, congratulate you for going through the experience and doing the retreat. And I saved all my letters and I put them in a scrapbook. And the reason I did that, not just to, pat myself on the back, but I said when I'm feeling down, especially if I'm spiritually down or just feeling in the dumps, I need to take that scrapbook, pull it out, and reread those letters. And it really is helpful because you can realize, feel better about yourself in that experience. And that is exactly what a reverse bucket list does. The quote that I have is from Zig Ziglar, and he says, "What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals." So that we want to have goals, but it's not the goals themselves, it's who we are in achieving those goals. So when we have a reverse bucket list, it's not that we did those things, it's at who we've become because of doing those things, if that makes sense to you. I think it makes perfect sense in reinventing yourself. So I had to sit down and figure out my reverse bucket list. What are some things in my life that I'm proud of? Now, when you do your reverse bucket list, you have to remember this doesn't have to be like, you didn't win an award, you weren't an Olympic, unless you did, you weren't an Olympic medal winner unless you were. But what are the things that accomplishments, graduating from high school or college, or buying your first car, having your first job. All of those things can be on your reverse bucket list. So I'm just going to give you my reverse bucket list so that it kind of will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So the first thing on the reverse bucket list is I traveled internationally, and actually I started that as a child thanks to my grandparents who helped out greatly. I also joined a sorority when I was in college, and for me, who was incredibly shy and a nerd and not a popular person, to join a sorority, that was a big deal. And as an only child, to know I had all these sisters was also a really cool thing. I studied at Oxford while I was at college. It was just a summer class, but it was a goal of mine, and I'm very proud of doing that. When I graduated, it took a while, but I did get a job. That is on my reverse bucket list. I moved to a big city when I got a job, and that was a huge thing for me. And I was very proud of accomplishing that, lived on my own. I fell in love and got married. I felt God's call to the ministry, and I followed that, became an ordained pastor. I learned to drive a stick shift, and I mentioned this in one of my other videos. This has been a couple of years ago. I also learned how to mow, and I guess I realized when I made this bucket list how upper middle class and kind of bourgeoisie I sound when I made this list. But these are huge things for me. I mean, maybe for you, you may have spent time in your teen years mowing and doing yards and stuff like that, and that's not a big deal to you. But for me, learning how to mow, both push mower and what do you call it, sitting mower, riding mower, was a huge deal for me. Also, I learned how to camp. I got some camping skills, and I went camping, especially to go nature camping. What is it called when you don't have the bathrooms and everything? Anyway, whatever, I did that. I learned how to camp. And for some people that might be like, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, you have to understand, my dad's idea of camping, of going camping, was spending the night at a Holiday Inn. So going actually in the wilderness, spending the night in a tent was a huge deal for me. I also got to go to India, and that was a big thing when I was in seminary because my husband had been to India, and so that was a goal of mine. And it was a huge learning curve for me. I mean, it was an experience because I'd been in a third world country before, but it was very different in India. Also, I became a mother, and that was a huge thing for me. I did suffer a couple of miscarriages, and it was very difficult having children, so that was a big deal for me, and that's on my reverse bucket list. I ran a marathon. Okay, it was only a 5K, but still, that was a huge thing for me. I participated in Wood Badge and became a scout leader. If you know anything about Boy Scouts, that is a great thing. I received my Wood Badge certificate, so I felt really proud of myself. I was able to do a mission trip, actually 4 times, in Ecuador. That was incredible, and it wasn't just the going on the mission trip. The most thing my biggest fear when I went was the fun day we did a zip line, and doing a zip line in a foreign country where you're scared to death and don't do well with heights was a huge deal. And not only that, but I ended up doing it 3 times. So, that was an accomplishment. And also, I got a black belt in karate. Many of you know that if you've seen my other videos on that. I've done several videos about that experience. I retired, and I started this YouTube channel. Now, your reverse bucket list may look totally different from mine, and that's okay. But let me tell you, just looking at this list gave me such a sense of pride and accomplishment and good feelings, and sort of like, okay, I need to work on another list. I need to create a real bucket list so that I can have more stuff in my reverse bucket list. So think about that. Think of the things that you've done in your life and comment below. I want to hear at least one thing that you've done. It could be very simple. It could be passing a particular aptitude test. It could be learning how to drive your grandfather's antique truck. I mean, whatever it is, put it down in the list below. I want you to make your own list. I want not only you to feel good about yourself, but then to look forward to what other things you're going to accomplish, especially in reinventing yourself. And let me tell you, you're going to get to a certain place, if you're not there already, in reinventing yourself, where you're going to need this list. You can stick to things you've accomplished in reinventing. You can stick to your whole life. You can stick to the last 20 years. However you want to do it, as long as you make that reverse bucket list and look forward to the list of the future. If this video was helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do that, and share this video with somebody that you might think might be struggling in reinventing themselves or just feeling down in general. It may help them to make their own reverse bucket list. Have a great one.